Okay, so I was on board. I had 5 cool things that I like, but then I found a new one last night, so I actually have 6 now. Sorry.
Okay.
Bonus.
These are presented in no particular order. The first one is a game. It came out in 2014, so I'm behind the times. I know that, but I just found it recently and started playing it, and it's called The Talos Principle. It is a PC game. I got it on Steam. I have no idea where else it's available, but I'm sure it is. I just didn't go look. It is a puzzle game. You wake up and a voice introducing himself as Elohim tells you that you are in his garden and you must go through a series of tasks to prove yourself worthy. You are a robot, it seems, based on what you look like from the outside. And the puzzles are physics puzzles.
Oh.
And it is a very beautiful game. They did a fantastic job on the landscapes, and I've got really bad graphic settings on my computer.
Wow.
This game, I was in one of the worlds you're in, which is in this canyon with these silver threads of waterfalls coming over the top and sunlight, and it's all magical. And I'm walking, and I looked up at one of the waterfalls as I walked underneath it, and it was one of the few times that I have gotten a full sense of wonder from a game.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Just from being there. It was breathtaking. The puzzles are fun. Not too hard usually, but very challenging. There is an in-game hint system with very limited hints available to you.
That's nice.
I'm maybe halfway through the game at this point. It is a long game.
Wow.
It is non-linear. You can wander freely through all of the worlds that are available. And similar to Portal, the point is the story that unfolds as you go.
Right.
It deals a lot with existential questions. What is life? What is personhood? What is self-awareness? Can you measure it? Does it exist? At what point are we people? If we invent artificial intelligences, at what point are they people?
Right.
And it's, like I said, it's not a linear story. You're finding about it. You're largely finding out about stuff that happened a very long time ago, and you're just trying to put the pieces together.
Oh.
But it's a very immersive game and a very thought-provoking game, and it's a lot of fun.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is by a developer named Crow Team. They're a Croatian developer.
Oh, cool. It's nice to see a puzzle game where the landscape isn't kind of an afterthought. I think a lot of times puzzle games, it's more about the puzzle, and then the background is just kind of incidental. So that's cool that
this
they focused
one,
on
even
it.
though the puzzles is like 99% of the gameplay, story-wise, the puzzles feel kind of incidental to the experience of the game.
Wow.
So
That sounds pretty cool.
that does sound cool. I thought that name seemed familiar. I remember Crow Team from their work.
Sounds familiar.
Memorable. It's very good.
Okay.
It's the first person shooter, but it's claimed to claim fame at the actually they had hundreds of on screen at any given time.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like a first person shooter bullet hell.
Oh, that sounds awesome and terrifying at the same time.
Really awesome and terrifying. Oh my god. So I think they plan to do a sequel to that too. Yeah, solid developer. Like, that game was super fun. Made with almost and beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I mean, I know the Talos Principle has won so many awards. I haven't even gone and looked at how many they've won. It's a lot. So it is a well-known game, and it's a 5-year-old game. But here's my recommendation for it anyway.
You know what though? It's way cheaper now. So, and it's probably well more worth it. Quite a bit more.
Well, I usually play old games, so I don't find my enjoyment of them diminished in any way.
No.
And in today's internet world, it's so hard to find out about games that are 2 or 3 years old.
That's true.
Because it's moved on. And I'm like, but those are still cool games. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have to look in the right price bracket. Under 10.
Well, this one, I will admit, I got this one on serious sale as part of the Steam Summer Sale,
Oh yeah,
and paid very little for it. But this game is well worth full price.
nice.
Nice.
Always.
Yeah, one friend said that his calculation is 1 hour per dollar. If he gets 1 hour of enjoyment per dollar spent on the game, he thinks it's worth it.
Yeah, that's stuff. I could get
Yeah.
behind that.
It's not a bad, quick, dirty formula.
Oh.
Okay, so my second cool thing is a book called Happiness is a Choice You Make by John Leland. The subtitle is Lessons from a Year Among the Oldest Old, and this is a really hard book to describe. The first thing I'll say is it is not depressing. It sounds like it would be. We all think old age is really depressing. This is a really... It's not a self-help book, but it's kind of looking at, we're all going to get there eventually.
Right.
We're all going to come to a point in our lives where, even if it's only for 5 seconds before a violent accident at the age of 12, we are confronted with our own mortality. And we have to stop and think about what society has told us is important and what we think really matters in our lives. And how we can find the best life possible, even when pretty much all of society is telling you you're done, like what you do doesn't matter anymore. How do you still be happy? How do you find a life that's worth living when you can't walk or you can't hear? As we deal with our bodies failing. He is apparently a newspaper columnist, and this started as a series of columns, I believe, for the New York Times. I know he's in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And what he found was he's picked 6 people that were over 85 and local to his area, and that would agree to let him interview them. And then he spent a year going about once a week to each of them and having long conversations and talking to them about stuff. And it ties back a lot to what you were saying before about trying to make people be happy when they're facing mortality or illness or grief or something that we can't understand. And he said what he found some patterns. These are all very, very different people with very different situations and very different lives. But what he found is we tend to think of time as a road. Like there's a time in your life that you get, look for a mate. There's a time in your life when you raise children. There's a time in your life where you do this. And he says, one thing he's found is that life isn't that neat, and none of these happen at specific times. Like, why shouldn't you fall in love at 87?
Yeah.
When you don't know if you've got 6 months or 6 years to live. Is love only important if it has a future and a structure that the rest of society can understand in front of it? One thing that he talked about in that vein was maybe these are just things you do, and you do these things in your life, and you have children, and you get married, and you have jobs, and you have broken heart, and these aren't finite things. These are cycles, and they happen until at the end of your life, you're living all of this music at once. And I thought that was an interesting way to look at it. Because like cognitive intelligence declines with old age. Our ability to absorb new information gets a lot worse as we age.
So many things.
Doesn't it?
Right.
But pattern recognition does not decrease. That form of intelligence does not decrease with age, which is one reason I think that maybe all of us get a little, the boundaries between our memories get a little blurrier. And the stuff that happened 20 years ago seems just as vivid or more vivid than the stuff that happened yesterday.
Right.
And I think that's we see patterns. And when you live to be multiple decades old, you start to see that life is a whole lot of repeating patterns.
Yeah, you have more perspective.
And the same things that are happening now happened before, more than once. It's not a book that's trying to have a point, particularly. It's just talking about what he learned from these people and how much it changed his attitude towards life in general, and especially towards old age and mortality.
Yeah.
And he said, basically, when you're over 85, nobody has a life that everybody else is envious of. Like, we don't think, no one over 85 physically has something that we as a society think that's the life. Like they're
Right.
at the height of their life. This is the best years of their life. So how do you find value in them? And
Cyborg.
it's talking. Cyborgs, yes, absolutely. I'll be a brain in a jar.
Same.
But it's talking about there is nothing that is good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
Yeah.
Like defining your own life and your own happiness. And there's, like I said, it's a hard book to sum up, but I found it fascinating and life affirming and inspirational and very rewarding to read. So I recommend it.
Awesome.
Read
Nice.
this book.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Absolutely, at every age.
That
Okay,
makes
so slight change. This next one is a phone game because I play a lot of phone games.
Nice.
I found this on the Google Play Store, so I don't know if it's available for Apple or other phones. It is called Tents and Trees, and it is by Frozax Games, and it came out in January of 2018. It is another puzzle game. This plays, honestly, it plays a little bit like a weird hybrid of Sudoku, Minesweeper, and Griddlers. It's unique gameplay. So
Yeah.
you're given a grid with trees on it in various places, and then numbers on the side and the top. And the numbers tell you how many tents are in each row or column. Each tree must have one tent, and each tent must have one tree. And tents cannot touch at any diagonal corner or anything. And you got to figure out how to fit all the tents in.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Simple game, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Very low on ads, good graphics, good sounds. I find that they have everything from like 5x5 boards to 19x19 boards, which I
Oh,
don't
wow.
recommend doing on a phone. It's a little hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Although it does let you zoom.
Oh, that's nice.
You open packs, like new level packs with coins, which you can get either by playing levels or you get 10 every 6 hours for logging in.
Right.
And very few ads, which is nice. It's fun phone game for when you are waiting in line or something. I recommend it.
Yeah. Critical
Cool.
thinking on the go is always
That's right.
a plus.
Keep your mind sharp.
Brain training.
Yes. Okay, the next one is a YouTube video. My dad linked me to this one. It's from back in 2014, and it is a shorter version of a TED Talk, it looks like. And it is
okay.
called A Different Way to Visualize Rhythm by John Varney. I will include a link in the description. It says music theory, essentially. He is looking at world music through a different lens instead of looking at as a linear measure. You create like a clock face that goes around, and that can be one measure is a rotation or as many measures as you want is a rotation. And then he looks at putting main beats and back beats and accent beats around that circle in different patterns. And he shows how different musical styles from around the world that aren't traditional Western music use very different patterns, and a lot of them use similar patterns if you use this circle to visualize them.
That's pretty cool.
It was awesome. It was a bit out of my league, I'll be honest. I understood some of it, but it was fun and it was fascinating and it was well worth watching. And it's only a 5-minute video.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
awesome.
Yes, so I highly recommend that.
That sounds
And
cool.
there is a link to click on for the full lesson. I've not clicked on it to know if that's paid or free or what. But the video is awesome, so go watch the video.
Very
Okay.
cool.
And then a second YouTube video. This one is called... Sorry, I should have had it up. I have what I call it. But
What do you call it?
I call it, actually, not much different. I call it local area creation for D&D. But the actual video is called The Local Area. And as part of a series, it is Running the Game number 81. This is Matthew Colville. He is a great YouTuber who talks about tabletop role-playing games, specifically building them and running them as a DM and how to do this well. This particular video, what he's talking about is starting your own campaign world, building it from scratch. And he created a PDF that allows you to get just the basics of the very local area your adventuring party will be starting out in, so that you can get the game off the ground and running before expanding to the point where you have a map that covers your entire bedroom wall.
Right, yeah.
The PDF is free and downloadable, and I will talk about it a little bit, but not much, because honestly, he's way better at making it sound exciting than I am. But what he did was kind of coalesced what the locals of that area, what everyone in a town would know. So who's the local expert on religion? That's maybe a priest, but it may just be that old guy who lives in the woods who's been around a long time.
Right.
Who is the local expert on magic? Who is the law enforcement leader of the town? And who are the town elders that run everything else? Stuff like that. So it's just enough to give you just a short, like, here's a list of names and who they basically are. Go. And from there, you can run the game, and players can help you build it. So I thought that was a fun resource both for gamers and for writers.
Yeah, that's really nice. I know sometimes when I'm doing my like D&D game and stuff like that, I'm like, I know what the area is and stuff, but actually having to sit down and figure out, okay, who's the one to go to for potions and what is his name?
Right.
Sometimes it's nice to have a little help with some of that minutia. And
yes.
world building.
This is the PDF. It's one page.
Oh, that is so handy. Holy crap.
Yes. And he has a graphic designer, an artist who helped him make it. So it's all of these little details are hand drawn.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
So that's pretty awesome.
That's super handy. If, like, behind your DM screen, you just have a quick reference. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's got sections for geography, government, culture. Ask questions like, what do the locals think about elves or dwarves? Religion, and adventure, which he has you build like one low-level bad guy really nearby, like a gang of kobolds.
Oh, yeah.
And then a slightly bigger bad guy who's a bit further away, so that your players know what they're aiming towards, basically. Like,
that's cool.
So yeah, it's fun. Go watch his video. He's a really good speaker, much better than I am. And this is a really cool resource, so I hope it helps.
Probably
with the game. Probably, yeah. He's been doing it a while too, and he's got like 80,000 viewers. So.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's awesome.
The fact that the internet can see us is only a side effect of what we're doing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Although, feel free to like and subscribe.
Oh, please, and comment. Okay, I have one more.
Yeah, bonus.
I have a bonus one. I discovered this last night. This is another phone game. This is called Tiny Bubbles.
What? Sounds adorable.
Huh?
It sounds adorable already.
It is. It's another puzzle game. Came out in December of 2018, so it's fairly new-ish. The developer is called Pine Street Codeworks, and they have this awesome logo that's all old-timey looking, with a quote underneath, "Purveyors of fine gaming software."
Awesome.
Wow.
So, I liked that.
That's really great.
It's not buggy, is it?
No. This is a physics puzzler that deals with basically soap bubbles.
Oh.
You're presented with a cluster of bubbles, and you have to break them and or add colors to them to get groups of 4 together that will then disappear. That uses very realistic bubble physics, so it doesn't always do what you would expect.
Oh, wow.
It is not a match 3 game, though it sounds similar. It is more individual puzzle levels, and there are a ton of them.
Oh, wow.
And they do have ads. It is ad supported. You can buy an ad-free version if you want for only $3, I want to say, which I wish I could do.
That's not bad.
Their ads are very reasonable. I kind of worry they're not making enough money because there aren't a lot of ads. One thing they do that I really appreciate is before each ad, it pops up a little screen just for like 2 seconds. It says, "Time for a commercial break. Ads allow us to create more content, and most can be skipped after 5 seconds." And it's just, I mean, I know that. We all know that. But it's a nice reminder.
Yeah.
When you're it makes the ad a lot less annoying when you're like, oh yeah, no, this, and also it only happens like every 5 minutes and not like every 2 seconds.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It seems like a personal touch. Like, sorry, we know this is annoying, but that way we don't have to charge you. You know?
Yeah.
Awesome. What did you say it was called?
It is called Tiny Bubbles.
Tiny Bubbles. I'll have to look that up. I like puzzle phone games.
And there will be a link in the description.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's gonna be all the links.
many.
Good luck wading through them.
Yes, there'll be
People-
a lot of links.
People are gonna start coming to
To the link.
hot links.
Directory
right.
of hot links.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll link everything that needs a link in the description. And if
Go out, watch
even-
things, buy things, play things.
yeah, learn, explore.
We'll even link things that don't need.
Why
yeah,
not?
absolutely.
All the things.
Yeah.
And if you've tried any of these things or have any experience with them, feel free to let us know in the comments if you thought they were cool or if we're weird.
Or if you have cool things you think we would like based on this,
Yeah.
then please let us know.
Yeah, if this is the kind of video, like, if people like it, well, we can make more cool
There are
things.
always cool things.
There's
For
always
sure.
cool things. So yeah, suggest cool things. Tell us your cool things, and maybe in a future video we'll shout you out.
Yeah. Yeah.